Welcome, welcome, welcome. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. I'm your host, Reggie Riley. In the studio, I got with me, to my left,
that good old Marcus Thomas.
Marcus Thomas. Over there we have the delightful, you gonna say your name on the microphone or what?
Tierra Taylor.
There you go. Behind the camera, we got who?
I'll be Sade in the building.
You must have got some good sleep last night.
Or some good something.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
As he has his church t-shirt on.
He definitely a walking contradiction.
Oh, man.
You know, I feel bought again, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, my goodness.
Gotta walk, you know.
There's so much I want to say, man. So much I want to say.
That John young as a mother.
I know.
Guns, man, it's the muscles, dog. Get out the guns. The guns, man.
You can't wear it's just a little t-shirt.
That's what happens when
it's not a normal
you get
t-shirt
games,
and your
yo.
guns are
Super small.
Your clothes get smaller when you get
let
bigger.
me see your tag. What's the size on the
That
tag?
John says
I don't
extra
know,
super,
man.
extra little. XL, extra little. We get that extra little, sir.
Nah, it's extra large.
It might-
You get
the boys'
extra
department.
leg,
It might-
man.
To the young fella section, I need that extra little. What's your name, sir? I'll be Sade.
Right. That's crazy. The biggest 12-year-old boy ever.
Oh, my.
All right, man. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. Thank you guys for joining us. Catch us here every Saturday at noon, WOL 1450 AM, or stream live at WOLDCnews.com. As always, stay plugged in with us. Text the word invest here. That's one word, invest here, to 38470. Invest here to 38470. We all over the interwebs. Check us out at capitalinvestllc.com for information on our company. Profiles, projects we're working on, etc. That's capitalinvestllc.com. And for the different events that we've had, that today is videotaped and replays of this show right here in the studio, but in a video format. Just go to our YouTube channel and search for Capital Invest. We have our meetup. That's our live event. This month is next week, next Thursday, November 21st. My brother's birthday. Shout out to David. November 21st.
Hey, Riley.
Hey, Riley.
Yeah.
So November 21st at the Hilton Garden Inn in Greenbelt, Maryland. That's our meetup. Come meet the team. We got deals being presented for investors. We have a great educational moment. Great networking. Get there before 6:30. Get a free drink ticket on us at the bar. But yeah, so that is our meetup for November. Usually it's the fourth Thursday, but we got Turkey Day, so it's going to be the third Thursday, November 21st, at the Hilton Garden Inn in Greenbelt, Maryland. All right, so this first segment is brought to you by DMV Insurance Agency. Check them out at dmvinsuranceagency.com. That's dmvinsuranceagency.com. Give them a call at 301-841-6264. 301-841-6264 for all of your life insurance, business insurance, homeowners, auto. As it relates to our business, they can insure your business, your general liability, and insure all types of property, all types of deals, vacant houses, rental properties, multifamily, fix and flips, new construction, etc. Again, that's dmvinsuranceagency.com. Give them a call, 301-841-6264. Our mission statement, which is in a bit of a flux right now, a bit of an editing going on. But as it stands now, man, our mission is to just help real estate investors become as successful as possible right here in the DMV. We do it by practical education, such as our meetup. We do it by providing networking opportunities, such as our meetup. And we do it by providing mentorship and offering services throughout the deal life cycle. So what that means to you, the aspiring investor, is anything you may need in terms of a service provider, whether it's a real estate agent, a general contractor, somebody to help you with plans and permits, just general guidance in creating your business from top to bottom, accounting, etc. We can help you with all of that. We live here, we invest here. And so, yeah, that's our mission, to help you guys out as much as possible. And this show is one way that we do that. Always like to start with a couple of shout outs. I'm gonna give a shout out to my cousin India and her fiance Demetrius for buying for Demetrius buying his first house. So congratulations to you guys. They got a great house. I think it's on the border of like Capitol Heights and Landover. It's like a townhouse on Hill Road. I feel like one side of Hill Road might be Capitol Heights and the other side is like
it's like Sea Pleasant. Yeah.
And so, but it's great for them because when they further along in life and they want to upgrade, it'll be a great investment property for them. So, to me, that's very important. Your first house should be one of your forever houses. So, you got any shout outs this week?
Nah, man, no shout outs this week, man.
Tierra, you got any shout outs? Today, you got any shout outs?
No shout outs, man.
No shout outs? Tierra, any shout outs?
I'm just surprised Marcus says no shout outs.
No shout outs? You laughing a little hard at that. I'm trying to figure out why. You got any shout outs?
I do. I want to shout out my friends and my family, and everybody who, follows me on social media, my journey, and gives me inspiring tips and moments.
Okay.
Shout out.
All right, shout out. Shout out to the tribe, to the crew. All right. Today, last week we talked about building your team. We touched on all the different people you need, all the way down to that videographer and that photographer.
Yeah,
right?
you know.
We went all the way there. This week, we are going to talk about plans and permitting as it specifically relates to DC and good old DCRA, Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs, right there in the district. So we're going to hop on that, give y'all a minute to think about that. Reggie Rowley, Marcus Thomas, Abisa De Tierra in the studio. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. Reggie Rowley, Marcus Thomas, Abi Sade, and Tierra here in the studio with you. Today we are talking about DCRA, Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs, and how that affects investors of all sizes in the city.
Man, them affairs are not regulatory.
Irregulatory.
Come on, man.
Right. We not throwing nobody under the bus. We not throwing no salt.
Look, they throw me under the bus every day. They aim for me.
We still have permits in process.
I understand that don't mean they're going to stop throwing me under the bus either. So we accept each other's challenges.
All right, so let's break that down. Anything business related in the district, you got to go through DCRA. Whether you start your entity, your LLC, your S Corp, your C Corp, whatever it's going to be, it all starts with DCRA, right? A lot of those services you can do online, so you don't have to necessarily interact with them down there. You got your business started, you're working on a deal. 99 out of 100, 9 out of 10 deals need some type of permit.
Yeah.
In the city, right?
Yeah, or license.
You just can't go in there. It rarely are the deal. There are no more deals where you can just go and paint and replace the floors and sell the house at a profit.
Without getting a stop work order.
Right, because they own it.
Yeah.
That source of revenue. Other than like traffic cameras, them stop work orders and them things, I think traffic cameras probably make more money, but they out and about, man. You see the DCRA cars on Sundays.
Yeah.
Right, you see them district cars every day of the week all over the city. They just not looking for parking. They looking for work being done without a permit, work being done on a Sunday, work being done after 7.
Yeah, exceeding the scope of the permit.
Right, exceeding the scope of the permit. So you got to have your stuff in order, and that's where we come in to help you. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I got a project in DC. Like we said, the cosmetic deals, the carpet and paint deals, lipstick on a pig deals are done. Right?
Yep.
So let's say we're going through a full gut. Let's talk about the different types of permits. But we're going to do a full gut, and we're going to talk about it example style. So we're going through a full gut, but and it's a single family. We're not adding any additions or doing anything that will require the digging deeper permit. That's segment 3 and 4.
Okay.
We're just doing a walkthrough. So explain to the listeners kind of what a walkthrough permit is, some of the different types, and we'll just treat it like Q&A style. Because I got a list of questions for you, because you're the expert on this.
Okay,
more so than me.
So a walkthrough permit is essentially when you go in there with your permit application, a set of building plans that shows how you're gonna change a house or property, because you may be able to do it for commercial too, with its current footprint, the interior of it, for the most part. There may be some exterior changes, but they'll be minute. Maybe the roof, maybe the windows, and maybe painting some things. Or maybe adding some handrails, some safety measures, or some appeal type things. But
some pavers
really, or some. Right. So nothing really structural, no real architect, nothing that really requires a professional to design. Something because it's actually called the homeowner center, believe it or not. It's really for homeowners to come down and get their permits.
Right.
But as businesses, you can do the same thing when you're not doing anything with a very large scope.
Okay. So what types of, so even if I'm redoing all the electric, redoing all the plumbing, and I am gonna add a bathroom or two, and I'm redo all my floors, redo all my kitchens and bathrooms, etc., I can go to the homeowner center?
So yeah, it depends. So the bathroom or two is different. If you're adding a bathroom or two, if your current water service can support adding those bathrooms, then you're fine.
Okay.
If it can't, then you gotta go another leg, and that'll be in probably segment 3.
Okay.
But
how would I know, like, if my water service can support it? Is there a way as a starting out investor to check that?
Yeah, actually, if you go to DC Water's website, it's like wasa.com or dcwasa.com. It might be dcwater.com. They have like a fixture spreadsheet where you list the number of different water fixtures you have in your house, and after you sum it all up, it'll tell you the size water line that you need.
Okay. Is there a way for me to check the water line that I currently have?
Yeah, so if you can understand it, if you can find your water meter in your yard, you can pop the top off and you can look at the size. It'll have it on there. If it's hard for you to see, you can always call DC Water and they'll tell you.
Oh, okay. You just give them the address.
Yep.
And they'll tell you what's currently there.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. So let's say we're not changing the water service. We good to go.
Okay.
So that's going to be a walkthrough. So you said you walk through with like a set of plans. Do I need professionals for those plans, or can I?
100%. They need to have an architectural and maybe structural engineer stamp on it, depending if you have any structural changes.
Okay. So if my water service supports the bathrooms, do I need like a plumber or somebody to do those plans for the bathroom?
No.
How does that?
No, because for a walkthrough permit, the scope is so small. The city allows an architect to do that plumbing and electrical design without the oversight of a plumbing or electrical engineer.
Okay. So I get these plans done, and I walk them through. I'm a small investor, so I'm doing this myself. Getting my feet wet, right?
Yep.
So I go down there, and I go to the homeowner center. I'm sitting with somebody, and they will ask me questions. They'll just review and stamp, or what's like that process like?
So you go to each, we'll call them designations or review boards, have like their own desk. So first thing you go to the application piece, and they make sure your application is filled. That's what is that?
Intake.
That's intake.
Okay.
So they'll go in, they'll look, make sure your application is filled out right, and make sure your scope matches exactly what you have in your plans.
Okay.
After that, I believe the first desk is structural.
Okay.
Because that's the heaviest one. So they want to see if there are any structural changes, and if so, that everything is documented there, and that the structural changes are minute. Because if they're excessive, you need to go to the fourth segment way, which we'll talk to later.
Okay.
After structural, I believe you go to mechanical. I believe it's
That's
the
for
next
like
up.
my furnace and
That's for your HVAC,
AC.
your HVAC. And then make sure that you got the proper ductwork, the proper size ductwork, the proper amount of intake air, the air blowing out in the house, and the right size units and things of that nature, and that every room is heated or cooled properly. After that, then I believe you go to electrical. And electrical, make sure that you have all the safety measures for electrical as far as GFIs, arc faults, and those are the two different types of outlets that make sure that the breaker is actually in the outlet versus in your panel.
Right.
So that if something overheats or gets overloaded, it'll turn the outlet off instead of having to go all the way to your fuse panel and turn it off there. So electrical, make sure you have all that, the right amount of lights, the right amount of switches for each set of lights in each room, and things of that nature.
All right. And so electrical is usually, I know in the upcoming segments, we talk about, we add some other disciplines like zoning and,
Right.
DOE
Well, and so
stuff like
it's
that.
funny you
Is there
said it.
zoning in the walkthrough?
So we still got plumbing. Zoning, normally just make sure what you're doing is within your footprint. If you're within your footprint, zoning leaves you alone. Because that's when you really worry about zoning. If you're increasing size, if you're increasing a load, that's when structural and zoning really pay a lot of attention to you. Then you have Department of Energy. They'll look at your walkthrough a little bit. DC DOE, not the federal DOE, just DC Department of Energy, just DDOE, make sure that you are doing stormwater drainage as well as you insulating properly. So they're going to look at your plans to make sure if you have a sump pump or something like that that it's ejecting at the right place. And if you have insulation, your insulation's at the right values on each level of the property.
But do you deal with them on walkthroughs?
You do, but it's going to be still based on scope. Determines
okay.
how heavy they review.
They scrutinize.
They might say, okay, when you do intake, they may say, you're going to skip DOEE because all you need is insulation, and somebody else is going to check that. The plumbing section is going to check that.
Okay.
If you don't have the right insulation, your plumbing lines will freeze.
Okay.
So some areas will cross over because of just what needs to happen in order for the house to be built properly anyway.
All right. So is it fair to say that this whole process, if you are working with a competent architect and structural engineer, that once those plans are done, I can walk through and get that permit in the same day?
Yes, and I wouldn't even say it's always just the level of competence of the architect or engineer. Let's say within a week.
Okay.
Because depending on who's doing your review at each desk, it's going to be subject to their opinion. Like they don't all work, each reviewer doesn't work with the same set of facts.
Okay.
Like they don't grade you based on, a set of rules. They all grade on a curve.
Okay.
And the curve is based on what they determine. So because of that, you may go one day and somebody doesn't have an issue with it, and the next day somebody else will. So you never know, and it might just be a clerical error that somebody may have missed. They may not have put the right name of the street or the right name of the owner, which make you have to go back and make a change. Then when you make that change, you go to another desk and they'll say, well, we see issues with this other stuff.
Right.
So within a week, as long as you have an expediter who's actually walking the plans through for you, as long as they have time to continuously go back, then you should be able to have it within a week or so.
Okay. And then the process from there is I get all of it stamped off.
Yep.
Right.
By the city.
Are they literally stamping it, like with a stamp, like right in front
Yeah,
of
if you're doing a walkthrough, they'll do a physical stamp. Yep.
Okay.
At issuance, they'll do a physical stamp and stamp it, and they give you an invoice, and then you go pay that invoice.
You pay the invoice, and then you get your permit.
And you get your permit in your hand.
Right there. And then you go make copies, put the
Yep.
plans on site.
Yep.
So with a typical...
Scan them in. Make sure you scan them in. That's the one step a lot of people miss. Soon as you get permitted, get a copy of your building permit and a copy of your permitted plans
Stamped
scanned
plans,
in.
yeah.
Stamped plans, stamped by your architect, your engineer, and the city, scanned in, save them on your Google Drive, on Dropbox, your computer, what have you, because you're gonna need them.
All right. We'll take a break right here. We'll be right back. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities, talking about plans and permitting and working with DCRA right here in the city. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Reggie Riley, Marcus Thomas, Abid Sade, and Tierra here in the studio, talking about DCRA, plans and permitting. It is probably the bottleneck of many projects. Probably all projects. That's the slowest portion.
100%.
Would you agree?
100%.
100%. So before we hop back into that, I always like to do the where that's from with y'all. If you know the answer to the following clip, text the movie to 38470. That's 38470. So let's go ahead and let that clip roll. So
Well, while we're waiting on this clip,
got it. There you go.
You beat William Money out of Missouri. Killed women and children. That's right. I've killed women and children. Killed just about everything that walks or crawled at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, little Bill. For what you did to Ned.
There you go. That's one of my all-time favorites. And y'all know what that is? I know, Marcus, you know.
of course.
The answer is not Stevie Wonder this week. It's not Stevie Wonder.
Man.
That's a classic, man. That's a classic. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman movie. All right. If you know the answer, text it to 38470. That's the only one we got this week. We got a lot of time for this discussion on DCRA. Let's give a shout out real quick to the rest of our sponsors. For pre-approval for all your lending needs, go to ifinance.team. That's ifinance.team. For you landlords out there that need a good property manager, go to smartmgmtllc.com or give them a call at 301-887-3430. All of our sponsors are real estate related. We like to give them shout outs during our radio show. Again, for you landlords tired of dealing with tenants, go to smartmgmtllc.com, 301-887-3430. All right. So we got our walkthrough, we got our permit. You said make a copy of the permit, make a copy of the plans.
Don't just make copies. Make several copies, but scan them in. Scan them in, because when you have challenges, when your contractor has challenges, or the inspector might be on site, you in the office or you in the car, wherever, you can access copies of your plans on the phone, on your phone or your laptop, your tablet, what have you, so you can see what's going on. So you want to have them at your beck and call at all times. And that's a step, like when we talk about we live here, we invest here, that's something that we've learned over the years. It's always had those plans. So as you know, it's always a discrepancy, and you ask me something, I say, give me a minute.
Right.
I can always pull them up. Every building we've ever done, I can pull those plans up just for that exact reason.
Right. All right. So that's a quick tip, regardless of what DCRA, you had to deal with DCRA, right? So when you got your plans, you got your permit, scan them in, put a copy at the house,
right,
or at the property, tape that permit to the window, and keep a set of the plans, the full size plans on site. All right. So, and then you'll work with your general contractor as you reach the different milestones and need to call for the inspections to verify that the permitted work was completed.
Right.
Right. All right. So that's when you're not changing the scope. In the city, the highest and best use is typically adding square footage, because all the different types of zoning in the city.
Right.
The residentials, the residential apartments, the mixed use, all the different types of zoning. What was built there is not the biggest or most effective thing, most efficient thing that could be built on this lot. So a developer or an investor comes in, sees an opportunity, like, okay, it was like this 1,200 square foot row house, but because of the size of the lot, because of the type of zoning, I can turn this into a 4-unit condominium building, and go from a total square footage of 1,200 above grade to maybe a total square footage of 4,000 above grade. When my scope is something of that size, or even just adding a little bit of the square footage, like an addition.
Right.
Right. Walk me through what happens then, because I'm not going to the home center.
Right.
Right. So my plans are way more extensive.
Right. So
right. Way more pages. So what's the normal page count for a walkthrough and a typical page count? And we talking plans pages, just on average. What do you think? It's like 7 to 40?
Nah, I mean, a walkthrough you can still get about a dozen.
A dozen pages.
You can still
at
get
the
about
most.
a dozen, because you still got a cover page and you still got some little miscellaneous pages in there for support. So it could be from about 10 to a dozen. But a full submission for a conversion or doing an addition or a property of certain size can be up to 3 or 4 dozen pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what does that look like then? I'm not going to the home center. How am I engaging with DCRA?
So you still go to the home center to do your application, and then they're gonna give you like a file number and a file name, and then they're gonna email you access to this portal called Project Docs. And then you go into Project Docs and you'll see the same file number that they gave you at the location, at the office of DCRA, where you go and you upload that set of plans versus handing them off to somebody. So you need the electronic stamp versions from your architect and your structural engineers.
Okay.
And in some cases, your mechanical, your electrical, and your plumbing engineer. Most times, mechanical and plumbing engineer is the same thing. Electrical engineer may be somebody different.
Okay, so it kind of goes back to last week. My team is bigger
100%.
because my scope is bigger.
That's right.
All right.
Now, a lot of times a good architect will have that relationship with those other engineers, or even if it's your relationships, hopefully they have worked together before, so they don't mind supporting you in this project.
Okay, so as like a newer investor or a small investor, I'm typically going to work with an architect that's going to quarterback that whole thing.
100%.
Because he has the relationships
100%.
with those other consultants. All right, so am I then still the one going to the home center in a normal circumstance?
You can be. So we advise you and I that you should.
Okay.
You should still try, because once it gets submitted, you have a 30-day waiting period for it to go through intake, and then the initial review to make sure you have the right pages and the right supporting documentation for them to actually process your application and all of your plans. Then after that, it goes to all the reviewers. Well, the one thing that the city really did that was good, I think last year, the year before, is the same reviewers that are reviewing the electronic plans, they have them go to the homeowner center and review walkthrough plans as well. So you may be able to catch them on desk, and they don't mind.
Okay.
They don't mind talking to you about your project. They won't give you all day.
Right.
But like if they've given you some comments or you got some questions, you can go. They'll pull it up on their computer, and you can have the printed out version and say, hey, here's some, what's this, what's that, and get a little more detail that you can then relay back to your engineers and your architect.
Okay. So
that's when you're doing the expediting yourself. And the reason why we advise that is that way you know what's going on your project, and you're not in the blind. Like we had been in the past, but we didn't know what was going on. We were relying on an expediter, whereas owners, you want to do that as well.
right. So what is the expected timeline that somebody should be? Walk me through like the timeline. So for that walkthrough, even if it's the most extensive walkthrough, and we're talking 12 sheets or a dozen sheets, an architect and possibly a structural engineer should be able to get that done in
Worst case a month.
worst case
a month. And the reason why is because there may be again, if you're subject to different reviewers, and you
Okay.
can't avoid that. So you may go one day, and the next day, the guy or the young lady that was there may not be there.
Okay.
Somebody else is going to have a different set of changes for you.
Okay.
And then you got to deal with your architect even being available to make those changes.
So when you say different set of changes, it's like I take a sheet to one person. They say if you make these 3 changes, you approve.
You're good.
And
Yep.
then you come back the next day with
And
that
that-
3 changes made.
And that person's not there.
That person's not there and it's somebody else.
They're going to give you 3 more.
Even though you say, hey, I saw such and such yesterday, he gave me these 3, we made those 3 changes.
They'll tell you, I'm not them. They'll even act like they don't know who the person is.
Even though they said probably share cube.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same reviewer. They work for the same group.
Right.
So there's no way you don't know.
Okay.
But that's fine. Okay. Then you just come back another day when you hope that person is there, or you send that person an email. When will you be on desk next?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So a month for a walkthrough.
Yep.
Walk me through the timeline for project doc submission.
And 16 years.
That's
It varies.
the
man.
total, but give me the second.
It varies.
A reasonable expectation of an architect being able to submit.
Man. Okay. We buy
Is
a
how
house.
long?
So let's say we buy a house November 1st. Okay. Architect should have a full set of plans. If we buy a house November 1st and on November 1st, we engage with the architect.
Okay.
Okay. Architect should be able to have the drafts of the plans back to you in 30 days.
Drafts of just the floor plans for me to approve.
Floor plans they can normally have to you in like a week or 2. That doesn't
Okay.
take them long. But then a draft set of the full set to make sure you got all your decks that you want, rooftop deck, your bathrooms or wherever you want them to be, things of that nature within 30 days.
Okay.
After that, they should have the stamp set by all designations, by the architect, mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineer, structural engineer within 45 days.
From then.
From November 1st.
Oh, from November 1st.
Because they still got other people working. But, so now let's say from the time you approve the floor plan.
Okay.
Okay? So let's say within 60 days you'll have your set
Okay.
ready to submit. Some will work faster, within 30. But let's say within 60, I can understand why. Because it's got to go through a bunch of people. Then, within that period of time, you've already gone to the city and did your application, and they giving you the link to go and upload.
Upload.
So they upload. First 30 days, you go through pre-screening.
Okay.
That's that intake that we talked about.
So we at 90.
So we're at 90 now. So it's 90 days and nobody's really done nothing
Okay.
as far as getting you permitted. But they review, and if your plans are good, you'll come back with a small set of comments. You're going to have comments.
But hold on. But even the 30 days to go through pre-screening, But then, don't reviewers have another time period before they have to look at it?
But in pre-screening, the reviewers don't do it. Somebody else does it. The intake desk does that. Just to make sure that you have all the right pages and all the right documents just for submission.
Okay. All right, we're getting queued up. We're going to take a break right here. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. We will be right back. Welcome back. Capital Invest, DMV Investment Opportunities. The lineup or the order has changed a little bit. I'm your co-host, Reggie Riley. We got Tierra Taylor, Marcus Thomas, and I'll be Sade. I depose you. All right. Before we get back to talking about project docs, I mean, we could do a whole day on DCRA and the permitting process here in the city. We're going to hop to Tierra Taylor.
Yes, yes.
Let's go ahead and cue her theme music.
Let's make this one exciting. All right, so it's your demolition diva Tierra Taylor with your millionaire tip of the week. And I always like to do a quick recap. The last time we talked about staying in the fight, which basically means that no matter what was stacked against you, no matter if you have to blaze a trail that no one has blazed before, you have to step away from your comfort zone, from your family or your friends. You have to find other people that are winners so that you can become a champion. This week's tip is overcome your excuses. We all have goals and dreams that we want to attain. We put together these elaborate plans and goals that we want to accomplish, and then sometime life gets in the way. I mean, it could be something personal, like your family member or kids, they get sick, or someone loses a job, or something dealing with your real estate transaction as far as putting a house under contract, and maybe you can't find the rest of the EMD that you need. But whatever it is, now you have something that is preventing you from trying to achieve your goal. When things arise in my life, I often call my mentors or accountability partners and get their perspective, and almost 100% of the time they tell me the same thing. Tierra, that's an excuse. Figure it out. They have no regard for my feelings or my situation or circumstances, and sometimes I get upset and frustrated, but then I remember, see, these guys have already been where I was, and so they tell me, like, there's no time for a pity party. You have to become your own rescue. So being around multimillionaires, I realized that they have a different mindset. See, millionaires don't make excuses. They make solutions. Let me say that again. Millionaires don't make excuses. They make solutions. What does that really mean? It means that although you thought it was a valid reason, because life happens, it becomes an excuse if you allow it to stop you from completing your goal. Because excuses are tools of the incompetent that builds monuments of nothingness, and anybody who uses them seldom amounts to anything. So, in order to not let your excuses hold you back, you have to take action. Any type of action, no matter how small, because there is a solution for every problem. So my challenge this week is for you to identify at least one excuse you have been using as a crutch and take action to squash it. Whether it is not having a realtor or not having any support or having private money, whatever it is, whatever your excuse is, your goal this week is to find a solution to overcome your excuses. I'm your demolition diva, Tierra Taylor, helping you to transform your mindset to achieve your goals. Let me know how I can tailor to your needs. Social media, Tierra Taylor to you homes.
All right.
Thank you. You got
Doesn't that sound like y'all?
You got an ovation.
Doesn't that sound like y'all?
It does.
Make it happen. You don't care.
I don't.
I ain't tripping.
With the stone face, like whatever. Figure it out.
You got.
Hey,
We all got.
They not
all
gonna
types
change
of
it for
drama.
you.
Nah.
they not going to change it for you. Believe that.
Yeah.
You got to
That
do
was
it for
great.
yourself.
That was
Y'all did a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Solutions, not reasons, right?
Yes, sir.
Solutions.
Solutions, not
Results,
excuses.
baby. Results.
Results-based business.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to hop into the man, the myth, the legend. I cut your time short last time.
Yeah.
That was my bad.
You might need this time right here.
We might need this time. We might have to pick up the DCRA.
This
DCRA conversation some
right
more,
here. Monumental.
next week.
Oh man. But you know this is DCRA related.
Okay.
It's DCRA related, it's life related, it's personal, it's business, it's everything, because I don't think people understand the magnitude of what we really get into. So if you look at some of the stuff Tierra said about, you know, about staying in the fight, you know, the last time and then today, you know, nobody cares about the excuses. Not even I, like, we make excuses too. I'm not gonna say that we don't. Nobody cares about our excuses either. You know, just because we might have $1 million excuses doesn't mean they're any different than anybody that has dollar excuses. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, you see a guy driving down the street with a Bentley with a flat tire, guess what? He gonna be just as mad as that guy with a Corolla with a flat tire. That's the worst day of his life. Just because he got a Bentley don't mean nothing. He got a flat.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter. But you know, I was thinking, you know, I always try to return to my inner spiritual, still, especially since I've been rolling with E, and I was thinking about magnitude, like trying to understand and convey to people how big everything is. Like, even though everything doesn't need to be complex, it's all big, it's all major. You know, this could be our last day, so we need to live it to the fullest. So I found the scripture, Jeremiah 32:27. It's just deep right here, dog. This going to touch you, right? It says, "Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is anything too hard for me?" Anything too hard for me.
How does that relate to us?
What's too hard for us, dog? Like, when you have a power of that magnitude on your side, what's too hard for you? So if you could take it, not just Christian based, not just Muslim or Buddhist or anything, we all pray to some God. Even them atheists, they ask somebody for some help. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. So when you have somebody on your team where nothing is too big for them, why is anything too big for us to overcome? Why can't we get over our excuses? Why can't we get out the bed? Why can't we find that one win that'll help us get over the next loss? Why can't we just figure it out? Why is one excuse related to the next excuse? Because we have that juice, man. We got the juice in each other. Like, today may not be my spiritual day, but maybe it is for you. So I'm gonna have to seek your guidance to get next to the man that's bigger than everything. You know, other people don't, because we like to hermit, we like to be coddled, we like to go in the corner and say, okay, woe is me. I can't figure it out. I don't know what to do. Some people take it to, I want to end my life, or I want to drink this bottle, I want to do this drug, instead of saying, give me some help. Let me help you. And in doing, because like I said, every day I'm not going to have the power, but each one of us someday has some power. So nothing is too big for us to overcome. Nothing is too big.
So the way that hits my ears is kind of go back to what we talk about the power of we and the collective.
Come on, man.
It's all the collective, right?
Yes, sir.
If I have the ability to do it, that means everybody in my collective has the ability.
That's right.
To do it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And that's why you've been in a position to teach. So God didn't give you the strength to help others learn for no reason. Because there's somebody without you that would never learn nothing. They wouldn't know nothing. So if you weren't putting their life, where would they be? So and now guess what happens for them? They now have that power to God through you that they can extend to somebody else. So that's why we're in this business of mentoring. That's why we're in this business of advising, consulting, and just loving and giving friendship to people that deserve it. Mm-hmm. And we ask for the same thing back, because there's nothing too hard for us, dog. Nothing.
Yeah, we have a colleague, Boyd. He always says, like, grace to you.
Oh, come on.
Go with grace. You know what I'm saying?
Boy in the black sweater.
Yeah, black turtleneck.
Yeah.
And that always resonates with me. When he like texts that to me, he's like, grace to you and yours. Like, he's on a level that I'm trying to absorb that and get that from him. So, I feel what you're saying.
There it is.
What you think?
I mean, I agree, and I think I'm grateful because of the power that you two have. You allow me to then consume the power and then be able to go out and teach other people what you all have poured into me. So I think that goes with the grace, and that goes with being connected to people that are connected to other people who are all about the collective of building everybody up.
It's all about the collective, man. When people are like me, like, that's when they start to just be on their own.
Oh, man. That's my old Mr. Me Too.
Me. Like, when I need to get mine at the detriment of A, B, and C getting theirs, like, that's just, that upsets me.
Yeah.
I need to be on XM radio to really express.
To express the level of upsetness.
Yes. And so, yeah, man. And so the best thing is like with cancer. You just cut it out.
Hey, man, kill them silently, dog.
Yeah. The body can't grow when it got that cancer in it.
Yes, sir.
Right? The mind can't grow when it got that tumor in it. You got to cut it out. So I think that's about all our time. Obesity, you got any shout outs, man? You had an hour to think about it. I'm going to do one for you. You want to shout out Stevie Wonder?
Hey, shout out your shirt.
You want to shout out the makers of Fruit of the Loom?
Yeah, that joint is definitely a Haynes her way.
Not Haynes her way.
Definitely shout out Haynes her way.
Man, we all over the place today.
I'll say this.
You
Okay.
get 10 seconds.
10
We got the
seconds.
cue.
Man, shout out to my cameraman for making these guys look good. Make sure you go on Capital Invest on YouTube to look at this fire content.
There you go. We'll take that. Man, Reggie Riley, Marcus Thomas, Obesity, Tierra Taylor here in the studio. Catch us here at noon next Saturday, WOL 1450, or stream live at WOLDCnews.com. Y'all have a great week. Make it productive.